So do you want the good news or the bad news? First, the bad news. My flight is delayed. So the good news, I have a little bit more time to tell you a story. But first, I'm going to replace your battery. Yep, checked. Very much delayed. But you're looking good with that new battery. Recently, I found myself watching a documentary by David Gelb, who also directed Jiro Dreams of Sushi. But this one was about Steve Aoki, and it was called I'll Sleep When I'm Dead. Okay, again, there's a pattern here. I'm pushing my luck. The plane is here. I actually knew very little about Steve Aoki, apart from reading his name in Matthew Collins's excellent book, Rave On: Adventures in Global Dance Music. I wanted to watch some fun footage of big live shows. What I got was a whole lot more interesting. Okay, life is imitating art because I just legged it from Terminal 5 to Terminal 3, Gate 17. And yeah, we'll just say proof of sweat. Perfect. For those who don't know, Steve Aoki is currently one of the biggest DJs in the world, and the film chronicles his relentless touring schedule. This guy plays over 300 shows a year, sometimes multiple shows in one day. It's a relentlessly punishing series of flights, interviews, guest appearances, gigs, more flights over and over again. He's barely got time scheduled to sleep, hence the title. Steve has won various DJ accolades, including a Grammy nomination for Best Electronic Album. He also earned the Guinness record for most travelled musician in one year, with 161 shows in 41 countries in 2014. In 2015, Forbes magazine claimed he made $18.1 million. It's a really interesting film. I can't say that I like this type of EDM, but these character portraits are just so interesting. Watching these people who've reached the top of their game. You might also have to look at this view. This view is quite amazing. Wow. He comes across as an intelligent, switched-on guy, and it never ever feels like he's being exploited at the hands of a promoter or label. The thing that seems to be driving Steve's relentless schedule is this burning desire to please his late father, Hiroki Aoki, known as Rocky Aoki. Rocky was born in Japan, came to America in the Olympic wrestling team, stayed, and founded one of the most popular Japanese restaurant chains in the USA, Benihana. He was about as stereotypically alpha as you can get, pursuing all these adrenaline junkie activities like powerboating. He didn't have much time for his young family, even listing his priorities as business first, health second, and family third. Wow. All of Steve's life, he's just been trying to prove to his father that he wasn't a failure for not going into the restaurant business and that he could actually make something of himself as a musician. As a teenager, he moved to LA and found salvation in hardcore music. Putting on shows in his tiny apartment, he started to meet a lot of bands. He founded the record label Dim Mak in 1996, and it turns out they put records out from some of my favourite indie bands growing up. Block Party, The Gossip, The Kills, as well as many of the most influential electro records of that era. Dim Mak shows premiered new artists like Lady Gaga, Diplo, and Travis Scott. It's at these events that Steve started to DJ, which led to his next career move. Clearly this guy knows music. He's also an excellent showman. His shows are all stage diving, spraying bottles of champagne everywhere, and also throwing cakes into his audience. His audience loves it and caters to the massive global demand. A planned show at Madison Square Garden has to be shelved due to him not finishing his album Neon Future in time, snatching moments to create because of his relentless touring schedule. It's eventually replaced by a homecoming show in downtown LA, where he plays to thousands of fans in the street because he gets special permission from the mayor to close several city blocks. The film finishes with him walking through the shell of his new home in Las Vegas, presumably where he's about to begin a residency. A bit like Billy Joel tonight at Madison Square Garden, and no, I don't have tickets and I'm kicking myself.
But Mary, what are your thoughts on this documentary?
Well, Adam, I didn't find the documentary very uplifting. A few things have lingered in my mind. Firstly, this film was made in 2016, when Steve was 39 years old. Now I'm just wondering how the intervening years have weighed on him. Because let's face it, no matter how enthusiastic you are, airports can get pretty tiring. Secondly, it's hard not to think of fellow superstar EDM DJ Tim Bergling, aka Avicii, who took his own life in 2018. Bergling had struggled with the demands of relentless touring for years, retired from playing shows in 2016, but ultimately decided he couldn't carry on. His family issued a statement saying, "Tim was not made for the business machine he found himself in. He wanted to find peace." The industry has since begun discussions around safeguarding artists' mental health, but it still seems to glamorize this relentless sleep when I'm dead attitude to touring. Indeed, the title of the film seems crass now, following Bergling's tragic death. I think it was intended as aspirational, but fell flat. To me, it seemed kind of woe is me, and that lifestyle doesn't lend itself to quality art. To me, I saw it as a warning. It's all a highly corporate affair. The amount of money swirling around it is absolutely insane. And that brings with it business speak, like income projections, market takeover, and extremely aggressive expansion plans. Again, nothing wrong with viewing music as a business, but EDM does seem to be a cynical ploy by big companies to monetize youth culture. It's business first, artistic expression second. You have to question the logic of your touring schedule being so full that you don't have time to finish your album and have to drop out of playing Madison Square Garden. It would surely make you question your priorities as an artist. But in many ways, this corporate takeover of what was once the most underground genre doesn't particularly worry me, because there will always be innovative new artists making interesting work that rails against the bland and the generic. Music works in cycles, and I'm super intrigued to see the work that comes out as a result of fighting against this type of EDM. As always, massive thanks for watching this video. If you haven't already, I know it's a cliche, it would be amazing if you could subscribe. Check out all the links in the description to find out ways of supporting me. But otherwise, I'll be seeing you very, very soon.